Hello and welcome back to the second episode of the Food Face-Off, and today we got wings from Wing Factory. Now, we also got 16 dipping sauces, well 15 and I guess a spice blend. But we're gonna give this a try. We're gonna build a huge 16 bracket tournament tree and figure out which sauce is the best sauce out here. Okay, jumping right into our very first seed and our second seed. This is the very first bracket of our tournament. We got smoky barbecue. So this is mainly the traditional sauce they have there at Wing Factory and their Thai flavor. Once again, these were randomly assigned. So, you know, matchups are completely random. No preferences, nothing. I'm gonna start right off here with the smoky barbecue. All right, so our grading scheme today, very different from last time. Obviously, we have to change it up. It's not a burger anymore, it's a wing. So we're going with first thing, looks. How appealing the, sauce looks, the dipping sauce, some of them look very vibrant and all that. Secondly, the dippiness. So how much sauce clings onto the wing, because that's crucial. You want that juicy sauce onto the wing. Thirdly, the taste, because obviously that's important. All right, so little time to waste. We're gonna jump right into the first one, right over here. Not too much, you don't want it to overwhelm the wing. Forgot. Looks, it's a standard barbecue sauce, right? So nothing special. A rich brown color. I'll give it we'll give it a 6. I think it's solid. Dippiness, yeah, that clings onto the wing. Solid, you know what? Solid 9 for dippiness. All right, taste. Standard barbecue sauce, not too overpowering, but still there. Like, it gives you a nice aftertaste. I'll give it, I reckon, a 7. A solid 7. Down the line for barbecue sauce, it's not too bad. All right, Thai. Now this is something I actually don't really see that often on the wing, or would necessarily order, but could be exciting. Smells really nice. So the first thing it looks like your traditional rich Thai sauce, so I think it looks better than that one. I'm gonna give it a nice, we'll say 8. 8 for the sauce. Dippiness. Oh, yeah. See that? Nothing's coming down. It's perfectly on there. Dippiness, 9. All right, taste. Once again, very subjective based on my preferences. I guess it's not too bad for a wing you don't want to overpower, but a little disappointing for what I'm used to. So I'm probably going to give this, we'll say a 5. That brings the total of these two sauces here and here, and we got a tie. So you know what that means? I get the final decision. I'm gonna send through the Thai since I think it's a little more exciting and more exotic. All right, if you're mad, I'm really sorry, but Thai's going through. Moving on to our second bracket. We got third seed, our Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce versus our least of our sauces. It's really the lemon pepper rub, but you know what? It's apparently really popular at Wing Factory, so we had to add it into our competition. We're gonna quickly jump into the looks for our Jack Daniel's sauce. Darker red compared to the normal barbecue sauce. I'm intrigued to see what's that. Hopefully Jack Daniel's, get a little boozy. It's a standard looking sauce, probably a 7. I think that's pretty fair. Dippiness, now the sauce doesn't quite cling as much as our Thai sauce, so I'm gonna give it a 7 again. I think a 7 is pretty fair. Now for taste, I'm getting almost a hint of like a chutney, a form of like really sweet chutney, which is actually something I didn't quite expect, but I quite enjoy it. Honestly, very surprised and very pleasant. I'm gonna give it a 9. I think a 9 is very fair. This looks like we just trimmed the head off of a sunflower and really put all the seeds together. I'm not sure what. Maybe I guess it's just lemon zest and pepper really. So I guess looks, it's exciting, it's interesting. Looks like you're eating a bumblebee. I'll give it a 6. Fair enough, I think 6 is fair enough. It's a little out there, it's not really a dip, so we'll give it 6. Now dippiness, you're in trouble here. In fairness, the part that had slightly a touch of barbecue sauce managed to, catch a lot of the rub, but yeah, this ain't dipping, so do we give it like a disqualification, or you know what? We'll compensate it, we'll give it a 3. A 3, I think. It's gonna be hard to lose against a 3. Now taste is very important, like hopefully, you score well so you can stand a chance. That's quite it's weird. It has a very sharp taste, but then it mellows out with the taste of the pepper, then it comes right, it's a roller coaster. Out of 10, I'll give it a 7, I think. This puts the total of both these sauces right over here and over here. And you know what? I think it's a clear winner in this episode. This bracket. The Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce goes through. Alright, moving on to our third bracket. So this is our fifth and sixth seeds. Blue cheese on one hand and ranch. Arguably the two biggest, baddest boys of the competition. So this is gonna be a real interesting fight. You know, we got the big initial fight on the first burger episode with the Filet-O-Fish and burger Big Mac. So this is, I think, one of them again. So we're gonna quickly dip into, not dip just yet, we'll give it looks. Now, for monetization's sake, I won't say what this looks like. We'll give it a 4. No, 3. Yeah, 3. I think 3's fair. Dippiness, the Thai one was a 9, I think. I'm gonna have to give this an 8. I think 8 for dippiness. Now for flavor, ooh, a 9 I reckon. I think a 9 is pretty fair. Now moving on to our ranch. An interesting looking ranch. I feel like there's a few like onions running through this one. Also you get the typical like just white ranch. So it's a decent looking ranch. I'm gonna give this probably a 6 on looks. Dippiness. Wow, this dips really well. Look at that. Coats so well, doesn't fall at all. I think this is our first 10 in terms of dippiness. Now, for flavor, ranch is a real, I think, popular one for most people. I guess I enjoy it. I wouldn't necessarily like pick it as my only dipping sauce. I like having variety. But this one almost seems like it's slightly watered down for some reason. I mean, the texture and consistency is nice. Slightly like less strong compared to most other ranches I've had. So on that note, I'm gonna have to grade it based off its other like compatriots. I'm gonna have to give it a, I think it's still decently 6. We'll give it a 6. Now, the total scores for both of these guys are right here and here. And unfortunately, based off the looks of the blue cheese, it's not gonna make it through. That means the ranch goes through. Moving on to our fourth bracket, so arguably the end of the first part of the tournament. We got Mr. Creamy Hot Cherry here on one hand as our 7th seed, and the factory secret. Now this is the place we order is secret sauce now. I'm excited to know because apparently this is probably considered their best in their opinion. So based off looks, this is very interesting. It looks like you mixed, I do believe it's 2 different sauces mixed together, but just not fully mixed. Like they just like 1, 2 and then forgot to mix it. So I'm gonna have to like lower their score for that. I'll give it a 4 on looks, but let's be somewhat positive, hopefully. Dippiness? Oh, not that much. Most of the white part of the sauce caught, but none of the red part did. It's a little disappointing. I'll give it a 5. I think a 5. Now, in terms of taste, blow me away, please. I have no idea what I just put in my mouth. I can't tell if it's cherry. It's just very sweet. It tastes like a red berry that's sweet, mixed with a creamy white sauce that tastes like ranch but isn't ranch. I don't know where to start. I'm just so confused along the whole journey. And for me, it's like, it's trying to be 2 sauces at one, but it doesn't really, I guess, like, master any of it. So I'm gonna have to give it a 5 in top. I think this is arguably the most disappointing one so far, unfortunately. Now, moving on to the secret sauce. Now, I don't think there's much competition. Now, this almost looks like a bit of a tomato soup. Or a minestrone. I mean, minestrone. Now, looks quite appetizing. There's a nice mixture of different colors. I'll give it a, I think a 7. I think a 7's fair. Dippiness. Now, this, I was gonna say soup. We'll give it a 7. It's not a steak, so we'll give it a 7. Now, for flavor and taste. That does not taste like what it looks like. Nice spice, quite a bit of a kick, but I really enjoy it. And a very like fresh, zesty, almost tangy like lemon factor, but it's not a lemon. It's like a sour lemon, but it's actually really, really nice. I quite enjoy that. I'm gonna give it an 8. I think an 8. So I think here are the total scores for both of these candidates, and it's a clear blowout. Unfortunately, this guy's not gonna make it, and the secret sauce makes it to the next round. Moving on to our 5th bracket, on the other side of our tournament tree, we got Burn My Ranch. Now this is a customizable one, I believe, that they've designed, and it's an interesting name. I have no idea what's in it. We got the sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. I think a more traditional flavor versus a new, I guess, invention. I'm gonna quickly grab a wing. Now looks quite appetizing. I'm gonna give this a 7. Dippiness. Ooh, does dip a little bit, but a lot does. Okay, I guess that's because I dipped it. Ooh, oops. I'm gonna give it a dippiness. It doesn't quite hang there quite well, but I'll give it a. I think a 6 is fair with this one. It's just like, I was gonna say a hot sauce with ranch. Yeah, well, I mean it is called Burn My Ranch. Not too bad. Quite exciting. I'll give it a 7. I think that's fair. Now, moving on. Sweet and sour barbecue. I think this is gonna give slight hints back to the Thai, so I'm quite excited. Ooh, that hangs really well. Look at that. I think that's gonna be another 10. All right, looks. Looks a little dark, but feels really rich. I think a 7 is fair on looks. So 7 on looks, 10 on dippiness. Flavor, or give it for flavor, a 6. Total scores are here and here, and that means the sweet and spicy barbecue sauce goes through. All right, moving on to our 6th bracket. So seat number 11 and 12, we got honey mustard and Caribbean jerk. Now this one I've never heard of, never tried before. It looks interesting. Honey mustard, I think it's a typical flavor most people would, like, know. So let's go right into it. Looks, it's quite a typical honey mustard flavor. I think it looks okay. Looks almost a little bit like honey. So it is honey mustard. I'm gonna give it probably around a 6 for looks. Dippiness. Ooh, it's like you can't really break through it, but some of it does catch on. Interesting. It's like a layer that you can't, like a membrane you can't break through. I'm gonna give it a 7. I think a 7 is fair. Very sweet. Honey mustard usually is quite sweet, but this one is very, very, very sweet. A little, I guess, almost too sweet, so it overpowers everything else in the sauce. So I'm gonna have to give it, I think, a 5. So we're gonna quickly move on to the Caribbean jerk. Looks, unfortunately, it's not the best looking sauce. It looks like a gravy, almost like. So not necessarily the most appetizing, but hopefully the dippiness scores pretty well. For looks, I'm gonna give it, first of all, a 4, a 3, I think 3 for looks. Now, dippiness, it does hold on quite well though. A little thinner, like on the thin side for the sauce, so I'm gonna give it a 7. We'll give it a 7. Flavor, oh wow, that took me to levels. That's got a mad aftertaste. I really enjoy that. It's like a mild, very like spice heavy forefront, but then a very zesty ending, which takes you completely to the next level. And honestly, I think it's way better than this one. Really exciting. Obviously, I would not necessarily have it on every single wing, but individually for one wing, that bangs. I'm gonna have to give that a, is it a 10? I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9. That means that the total score for the honey mustard and the Caribbean jerk is here and over here, and that means that Caribbean jerk goes through. Alrighty, moving on to our second last bracket. We got chipotle mayo against gutter butter, and we got a fresh new serving of wings, nice and warm, with a special sauce I actually didn't, for some reason, find in the first order, so we're gonna give it a try. It's called Blue Lagoon. This will be just like a special candy, It fights for nothing, just for like its own brand image. Alright, let's drop the lid right over here. Let's give it a try. It's a watered down hot sauce. That's about it, nothing special. We're gonna quickly cut and get right back into the real deal. And back to the real deal. Apparently that had blue cheese in it. Maybe my taste buds are just failing. Alright, first up, chipotle mayo. Looks very interesting color. Nice and like a rich, almost like tamarind like color. Quick looks, I'll give it a 7. Dippiness. Ooh, a little thick. It's like, like one of those like Thai peanut sauces, that type of thick. It clings on pretty well. Give it an 8. Give it a quick taste test. I'm gonna give it an 8. I think chipotle mayo is an 8. Now, moving on to the gutter butter. I have no idea what's in here. Smells like a hot sauce. Looks like a hot sauce. Nothing special. I'll give it a 6 on the looks. Dippiness looks very liquidy. Yeah, like a very thin sauce. It does hold its part a bit. We'll give it a 7 on dippiness. Flavor, it's not, maybe not necessarily new, but not that unique at least. I'll give it a 6 on flavor. I think it's middle of the road, like you wouldn't be too upset if you had it served with your wings, but I think a 6 is nice and fair. Overall scores for our chipotle mayo right here, and our gouda butter right here, and you know what that means? The chipotle mayo goes through. Alrighty, our final bracket, our final 2 seeds, honey garlic and Colonel Frank, and we're gonna jump right in. Looks like a very reduced balsamic vinegar dressing. Looks quite nice. A couple dots there of the garlic. Very interesting. I'll give it a nice 8. I think an 8 is fair. Yeah, dippiness. Grab, ooh, a nice fatty right up here. Ooh, that clings. Yeah, that clings. That ain't, okay, that didn't fall well. Pretty good. 9. Like a 9. It's very fair. Now, quick taste test. Ooh, it smells almost like a touch of soy sauce. There is something else in there apart from honey and garlic. Might be a very sweetened soy sauce, maybe even a concentrate, which I think lifts it really well. It's like almost like an Asian like flavored wing. I'll give it an 8, simply because I would have maybe wished it was slightly heavier on the honey flavor. Alright, moving on to our Colonel. What's your name? Frank? Looks. You look like every single other spicy hot sauce we've had so far, so 6. Dippiness, this looks quite runny, so it's gonna be a quite light sauce. Yeah, nice, quite light. I mean, it's not a preference, but in terms of dippiness, it's not gonna score as high as the juicy ones, you know? Alright, let's give it a quick taste test. What's the difference between all the other spicy ones? I really can't tell. 6. Honey garlic, I think, blows this guy out the water. This moves on to the very next round. Alright, and jumping into the quarterfinals, our very first bracket, we have the Thai sauce and the Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce. Now, obviously, new round means new judging criteria. Criteria number 1, how fly the sauces are, not just how good they look. Secondly, we got the double dip. Now, would I dip again if I had the choice? Very crucial factor. And finally, the tiebreaker, the wow factor, and that's just gonna be based on how unique, how creative, or just how exciting the sauce is. Jumping right into the Thai, I'd have this on my table. Simply because that would be slightly different. Like if I had a wide variety, there would be a form of barbecue, but that stands out. Like nothing really similar to that. So for fly, I'm gonna have to give it to that in terms of looks. Looks exciting, I'd go for it. Double dipability. Now, this would be out of my own preference. I would go back twice for the barbecue sauce. I think it's not as overpowering as the Thai one, so much easier to go through twice. And that means we got a tiebreaker. And for the wow factor, I think you gotta really, you do eat with your eyes first, but taste is quite important, so I'm gonna have to send through the JD barbecue sauce. Alright, moving into the second bracket of our quarterfinals, we got the ranch and the factory secret. Alright, how fly? Now, I gotta go with the looks here, you know? That just looks like a standard red sauce with a little bit of vegetables, not that impressive. Like, a ranch may not be that exciting, but you tell them, here's my ranch sauce, to be like, damn, there's stuff in it. Don't know what it is, but it looks cool, let's give it a try. So flyability, I'm gonna give it to the ranch. Double dip. Ooh, this is hard. I really enjoy the factory secret. So I'm gonna go with the factory secret. I think I'd double dip that twice simply because it's not as heavy as this one. So I think the light ones may have suffered a little bit in the first round, but in the second round they might actually, you know, be more favorites with the double dipability. Now, the wow factor, I mean, I think this is pretty easy. You tell them you got the secret sauce on the table. We're talking, yeah, I want to use that some like secret sauce. Yeah, so secret sauce, you're gonna go through to the very next round. Alright, to our third quarterfinals. Now, we got the sweet and spicy sauce and the Caribbean jerk. Quickly dive for a quick reminder of what the sauces are like. Now, this is very interesting. Remember, we're grading them based off the dipability. Just in the context of a wing. This is gonna be crucial. Because how fly, this is a clear winner. Because that just looks like gravy. It's not that, it looks a little messy. Not many people are gonna wanna use it, you know? Not that, you know, front stage type of character, more like the backstage, like the tree, you know, in the background that doesn't really move in the show. Oh, it's very mean. I apologize, it's actually a pretty good sauce. Dipability, I would go for this one, once again, because it's quite interesting, it's quite exotic, it's something very different. So I would definitely go like, ooh, what was that? I'm gonna go twice. This one's, I mean, it's a typical spicy, like sweet and spicy sauce. You know, yeah, with chicken nugget, like nothing too special. But here's the problem. The wow factor is where I'm stuck at. Because we got a 1-1 tie, but this almost would be better with like Caribbean like chicken rice, you know, that'd be like, ooh, that'd be so good. And that just bangs on a wing. But a wow factor, I think I just gotta go with my instincts here. You know, I think this is one of the underdogs of the tournament, but it might be that dark horse in the race. I'm gonna have to give it to the Caribbean jerk simply because it's exciting, it's something new, and I would honestly be attracted to this before this one specifically, if it was at the table. Alrighty, now final quarterfinals, we got chipotle mayo and honey garlic. Two of, I think, quite big favorites in this competition. Alrighty, okay, I think I know what I'm gonna go with. I'll fly. Now, which one flies higher? Which wing takes off further off the table? I'm gonna have to go with... I can't decide here. I think I might have to go with this one. Here's my explanation. Honey garlic isn't usually this dark and rich. I see that, I'm like, honey garlic? You know, it looks pretty interesting. Let's give it a shot. Dipability. Now, both of these quite heavy. I would dip twice, honestly, in the chipotle mayo. I think this one is so interesting, but quite overwhelming in soy sauce that I would like maybe like have one wing of these and like, you know, go around a couple like of the 3 random spicy sauces that taste the exact same, then go back to it. And yeah, I just probably would most likely double dip in this one more than I would in the other one. So this wins the double dip ability. And now for the wow factor. Oh, this one's gonna be tough. Do I go? These are, I think, arguably two of the biggest like go-to for most people. Ooh. I think I would personally go with honey garlic as the wow factor. Simply because of that color. I think that's so different and unique compared to most honey garlic sauces. I think that's my winner. So honey garlic, I'm sending you through. Our first semi-final of the day, we got Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce and the secret sauce. And this category, you know what? It's a new round. That means new category needed. We're gonna go something different, something quite interesting. It's gonna be how many of these wings would I eat in a row? Now, a lot of factors. Obviously, this is all based on my personal opinion, so don't get mad. We're gonna go right into it. Wow, okay. This is gonna be a tough competition. All right, let's start off with the Jack Daniels. How many of those do I reckon I can eat? Not right now, on a fresh meal. I'd probably eat, I reckon, 4 before I want to change flavor. I'm gonna get 4 for that. Now this one's a good flavor, but I think I might get a little boring after 4th. Now this one is super exciting. Now that could be a positive and a negative because you might be like, wow, that's kind of crazy. I want to go back to something boring, like one of the spice ones, you know? But it's also really good. Would it be 4 though? You know what? I think it would. I think I'd probably go towards 5 or 6 of these. Not super strong, but that nice tang at the end really elevates it, and I think I just wouldn't be able to like resist not going back to the secret sauce. So I'm gonna have to send the secret sauce into the finals, and this is our first finalist. Now moving on to second semifinals. Now back at our second semifinals, we got honey garlic and Caribbean jerk. Let's quickly remind ourselves of the flavor profiles of both of these guys. Okay. Alright, honey garlic, how many of those would I eat? I did say in the last round I wouldn't eat that many simply because it's quite strong. But I feel like I would quite eat. I actually quite enjoy that strong flavor. I'll go with, I think I'd eat probably 5 of the, ooh, maybe not. Let's go with 4. I eat 4 before I probably want to change. Caribbean jerk. Honestly, this dipping sauce by itself is amazing. For a wing, I think it's gonna lack behind some of these other sauces we have. I'll definitely have it with chicken rice, like I said before. So I think I probably have only maybe 2 of these Caribbean jerks. Unfortunately, this category was not very kind to this exotic flavor, so honey garlic, you're going to the finals. And we're here at this episode's finals, the Wingstop dipping sauce, no, not Wingstop, Wing Factory dipping sauce competition, food face-off, and we got the secret sauce versus the honey garlic. And this final category is gonna be quite intense. It's gonna be which sauce would I be okay to just remove from this world? Like, it's gone, like it never existed. It's gonna be quite tough. We're gonna have a lot of butthurt people in the comments, but you know, so be it. Let's quickly remind ourselves of the flavors. This is tough. My initial feeling is more people will like this one, but I like this one. So which one would I remove from this world? Do I care more about the people or me? Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to go with the honey garlic. It's just so unique as a honey garlic. The secret sauce is amazing, don't get me wrong. If you guys ever try it, if you haven't tried it, well, I guess it's kind of screwed now because I kind of got rid of it in the world. But if you ever get the chance to somehow find it in this universe, make sure you guys go test it out. Amazing. Honey garlic, also really, really good. Quite different, so I would definitely recommend it. Now, once again, make sure everybody drops, I guess, what they want to see next. What type of food you guys want to see next, what type, maybe even drink, snack, takeaway, anything. Can be anything in the world that you want me to see compare in a food face-off. And I will definitely keep those on the list and we will get to them one day. Hope everybody enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye.